Disney's House of Mouse just hit the reset button, and it's bigger than any Star Wars or Marvel movie reveal. Media titan Bob Iger is stepping down as Disney CEO, and Kathleen Kennedy is leaving Lucasfilm after over a decade leading Star Wars. Welcome to Raptor's Recon, where we will go over what went wrong, who's replacing them, and hey, is this a relief for fans who've been frustrated for years? Let's break it down. Reports confirm that both Disney and Lucasfilm are planning leadership changes in 2026. Bob Iger, who returned in 2022 after the controversial tenure of Bob Chapek, is scheduled to step down late 2026, ending his latest period as Disney CEO. Disney insiders and analysts suggest Josh D'Amaro, chairman of Disney Experiences, which includes parks, resorts, and consumer products, is now leading the race to succeed Iger. Meanwhile, after a long and tumultuous run, Kathleen Kennedy, president of Lucasfilm since 2012, is also set to leave her role. After years of speculation and reports of retirement plans, sources now say her departure will happen early 2026, aligning with Disney's leadership transition. But this isn't just one change. It's a coordinated overhaul at the top of two of entertainment's most influential companies. Why is this such a big deal? Because both leaders have had wildly mixed results, especially with beloved franchises. Under Bob Iger's current run, Disney faced significant struggles. Disney theme park attendance dipped in key markets. Disney Plus saw waves of cancellations amid controversial content and executive decisions. Box office bombs became the norm as Disney made moves to obfuscate the numbers. Several major layoffs and restructuring hit film and TV divisions hard. And Disney's share price remained stubbornly below pre-pandemic peaks despite strong IP holdings. Fans of Star Wars have been particularly vocal about Kathleen Kennedy's era, myself included. While she is credited with the success of The Force Awakens and expanded Star Wars streaming content, much of the franchise's projects, from The Last Jedi to The Acolyte, drew divided or negative reactions from critics and audiences alike. From fans, we saw our beloved IP fall into shambles through activism, poor storytelling, and a Lucasfilm group that actively worked counter to George Lucas's vision. This overhaul in leadership from Iger to Kennedy is a long overdue course correction, and that brings us to the replacements. On the Disney side, Josh D'Amaro has emerged as a leading candidate to take over as CEO. He's been overseeing the company's most profitable unit, Parks and Experiences, and executives see him as someone who can bring stability and profitability back to the broader Disney empire. While having a fresh leader in place is good, it is hard to say how successful this will be. For Lucasfilm, Dave Filoni, the Star Wars creator behind the Clone Wars, Rebels, Ahsoka, and The Mandalorian, will take the creative reins. Now, alongside him, Lin Brennan, Lucasfilm's president and general manager, will handle the business aspects of the company. Now, in my opinion, Filoni is a paper tiger beta who does his handler's bidding. I don't think I have ever seen him stand up to Kathleen Kennedy when it came to staying true to George Lucas's vision. While I loved Clone Wars, I enjoyed Rebels, and the first two seasons of Mandalorian, pretty much everything else has been a disaster. Book of Boba Fett trashed a truly badass character. Obi-Wan turned canon inside out, focusing on nobody characters, making Vader look dumb, lightsabers non-lethal, which is the current Disney trend, and in the end making Princess Leia look heartless and cold in A New Hope. Skeleton Crew bombed. Ahsoka somehow made Grand Admiral Thrawn look like a moron compared to absolute genius he's supposed to be. Don't even get me started with The Acolyte, that he fully supported and greenlighted, that copied and bastardizes basically Anakin's origin. Consider, Filoni didn't want Andor to go forward. Now KK, in a rare moment, actually pushed that through, and Andor, while different in regards to Star Wars feel, is the most successful show they've got going. Co-CEO Lin Brennan's strong feminist views and allegedly discriminatory hiring practices combined with Filoni's lack of backbone just don't give me warm fuzzies about how much change is actually coming to Lucasfilm. Look, I fully support strong female leads. Ripley from the Alien series, Sarah Connor from Terminator, Trinity from The Matrix. Heck, Natalie Portman knocked it out of the park as Matilda in The Professional before she became Padme. And you know what? Disney did have a strong female in the beloved character Cara Dune, but we all know how that ended up, which was another KK masterstroke to split fandom and destroy the IP. I may be a Debbie Downer, but I don't have much faith that these changes will actually mean anything for Lucasfilm. Let's be honest with ourselves. A lot of Disney and Lucasfilm fans have been waiting to hear that Iger and Kennedy were leaving. I mean, that's like a reason to cheer. Speculation has been talked about forever. Online communities have spent years criticizing both Kennedy and Iger for decisions seen as tone deaf or franchise weakening. Kennedy's era alienated longtime followers through direct hostility to fans, gaslighting, and just plain old poor leadership. How many directors has she gone through? How much has been revealed about lack of cohesiveness and an overarching plan for what used to be a guaranteed money-making phenomenon of an IP? As Star Wars fans, we cannot forget how she lied to George Lucas in that interview saying she would respect his characters. She single-handedly tore each of them down to include Indiana Jones. In recent revelations, Mark Hamill said that he suggested they bring Luke, Han, and Leia back together again, and was told this isn't Luke's story anymore, right? But Rey is going to take and adopt the Skywalker last name, right? It's garbage. The evidence is clear with the Luke Skywalker, that picture that was X'd out in the studio. The way that they handled Han Solo he was unceremoniously killed in The Force Awakens. The way Luke supposedly wanted to kill his nephew after going through such lengths to save his dad from the dark side, and then became some self-loathing hermit who drank blue space manatee milk right from the source. He was debased and humiliated and dies from using the Force too much. I mean, even Leia gets sidelined, and characters we were introduced to got put on the back burner incoherently. And I'm talking Finn and Poe. They actually had some promise as characters, and basically they took a back seat. There was no reunion, no passing of the torch, no ushering in a younger audience to new heroes and respecting the past. It was taking a dump on George Lucas's legacy because Kathleen Kennedy knew better. I couldn't believe the shills trying to take her side a couple months ago when she tried to blame Iger for all of this. Unbelievable. So anyways, it is great news that Kennedy is finally out. But will her Sith Lord spirit continue to haunt Lucasfilm? Meanwhile, some observers believe Disney's oscillation between creative risk and corporate conservatism under Iger has led to inconsistency across its brands, frustrating investors and fandoms alike. I would take that a step further. Iger seemed to come back to become the White Knight. He wanted to be that savior of Disney, when he was the one, ironically, that got Chapek involved in politics and all that nonsense in Florida in the first place. And then Iger then tries to use all these machinations and all of these things to try and elevate his own ego and his own political aspirations. That worked out well, didn't it, Bob? I think Elon Musk said it best when he addressed Iger directly at the New York Times Dealbook Summit in 2023. Go check that out. But it's important to note that the company is going to tell you these transitions aren't about firing bad people so much as it trying to reset strategy. That Disney as a whole is betting on fresh leadership, and that This fresh leadership can calm stock volatility, streamline content quality, and rebuild trust with fans. The veracity behind that claim is suspect at best, but at least we are getting some kind of change. So, what comes next? If Josh D'Amaro takes over Disney, we could see more focus on profitability, theme parks, and perhaps a rebalancing between streaming and theatrical releases. That might mean fewer abrupt cancellations and more strategic content investment. With Dave Filoni leading Lucasfilm creatively, there is a chance, albeit slim, that Star Wars gets a unified vision, one that's rooted in storytelling fans have embraced for years. But my money is on Filoni becoming a yes man to Lin Brennan's vision. As a concession prize, she will allow him to make his Clone Wars and Rebels characters the new centerpieces of Star Wars lore, as long as he sticks to the South Park, put a chick in it, Panderstone nonsense. I think we as fans will really get a taste of what Star Wars future is going to be like when the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that's due May 22nd, 2026 comes out. If it is a well-written success, the movie will give him some momentum going into that transition. If it bombs, we know that the franchise is beyond life support. I mean, will this shakeup really be better or just more of the same? That's really the big question, and we want to know what you think. Hit like if you're excited for new leadership, subscribe so you don't miss future updates as this story unfolds, and drop a comment below with who you think will make the best Disney and Lucasfilm boss. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for our next chapter about the Magic Kingdom, and may the Force be with you.